Hello everybody and welcome to EZWC26. We are here with the long-awaited speed reveal. I'm iFlame, joined today by Shepsu, Fa, and Floppin. We're going to be speedrunning the first few teams and then we'll slow things down as we get higher into the seeding. How are you guys all doing?
Great.
Just
got home from a really delicious dinner, which made me kind of sleepy, but I still have the spirit to see what these teams are about to cook in the qualifiers.
Oh, that sounds great. Why don't we get into the seed reveal? Let's start with our first team. Last place qualifier, Netherlands C. It had to be someone. Congrats on last place. Yeah, we can just speed run these first 20 teams. 61st, we've got Mexico B.
Mexico. Someone didn't play.
Yeah, only 5 players. It's unfortunate.
I think they would have qualified if they had all of them. Lule.
Next, we've got China C. Again,
C.
only 4 players. Always rough when you don't have a full 6-player team. 59th, we've got Australia B. This one potentially slightly more surprising. Yeah, agreed.
That also means that they've placed under Australia C.
Super Nyai is not playing. No wonder.
Yeah. Important player for them. Then we've got Australia C. 1 spot later, you know, at least they're consistent.
The devil.
Next is Australia A. No, it's going to be Germany C. 57.
That would be evil.
Three players not playing. Yeah, imagine.
I think by that logic, Australia A would have to seed 59 or 60. Yeah. Finland and Kyrgyzstan seed 56. Our first of 3 merged teams.
Yeah.
People are having a really good average score here. And you do a team of 4. Poland B. Someone not playing. Loloia having pretty high average score compared to the rest of the team.
Yeah, solid average score to be expected. Team scores just weren't quite enough though. And
next is Poland C.
Again, countries sticking together.
And even then, they don't have their 4th player. So that's funny.
Got Spain B at number 53.
And next we have Spain C. No.
Surely.
No, no way B.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Surprising with a player as
Definitely
good as
W
Anthony as
with
well.
with good average score, but missing a player, and the rest not quite matching up to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And at 61 we have Philippines B. Missing 2 players and still getting decent score between Johnny Origami, Fiddleminger, and Hai Inatsuru.
Yeah, and it's top 32 qualifier, right? So we've got a ways to go still. Up next, Vietnam B. We are starting to see a couple better scores individually. They've got a number 36 on there, but not quite enough to make that cutoff. Taiwan A, I believe. This is our first A team not to qualify. So they're going to play.
They have a 24th on S2 with 512 score. 512k score.
Quite a nice score. Next up, we got Russia C. Again,
with very cutie Q not playing.
But yeah, just 4 players.
And yeah.
Exactly.
Netherlands B. Interestingly enough, got 29th on locals, one of the more competitive maps. Again, missing 1 player, but still, as we go on, we're improving the averages.
Yep.
So moving on to seed 46, we have Belgium, Luxembourg, our second out of 3 merged countries. Actually performed pretty well on the S4 and have all 6 of their players, all 5, sorry.
Yep, commiserations to them. Moving on to number 45, we've got Mexico A, going to be our second A team eliminated, and with all 6 of their players as well. At seed number 44, we have got Estonia, only 1 team here. Had some higher ranked players, had a couple decent scores, but again, not quite good enough.
Shout out to Evil Gaming's, one of the highest average scores we've seen so far. And to France, where, again, higher team averages equals better placement.
Honorin is doing quite a lot of work. I'm getting 120k average score.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Honorin did well. Number 42, we've got Ukraine. Again, some better average scores, but only 4 players playing. Commiserations to them. In seed 41, got Canada C. You hate to see it. Definitely unbiased there. But moving on to the top 40 now. Still not quite qualified, but getting closer. We've got India at seed 40. Just missing that cutoff. Number 19 on Rhapsody. Colombia is going to be number 39. Carlos Flaw playing pretty well, but not going to be quite enough this time around. At number 38, we have got Singapore. Just
a lot
lower.
of us in predictions believe Singapore would qualify. Unfortunately, Tapsis is not played.
Yeah, Tapsis would have been there. Maybe they could have qualified. But unfortunately, he wasn't here for the team.
Number 37, we're going to get Denmark. Again, some good average scores. Varist and God Morgan had some good showings, but not quite.
If you notice, most map rankings are in the 30s here. We're getting more serious as the closer we get to qualified teams.
We are.
And into seed 36, we have Thailand.
NWD having a pretty good average score on the 20k. Having 25 on S2, 28 on S11. Pretty decent footing, but not quite enough. Next we have seed 35. Portugal with Macasito and Tafamat. Doing pretty well, as well as Strategy 5.
Yeah, some very good players on that team. Uzatap that's not Uzatap, that's Watsao. Okay, I don't know who that is. And Rapamat as well. So just barely missing the cutoff. Getting ever closer now. Seed 34. we have got China B. Again, some really strong scores. We've got multiple scores in the top 20, but just the kind of last scores in the pool really dragging them down. A lot of 40s and even a 60 there. Seed 33, our last team not to qualify, or sorry, yeah, drum roll for Taiwan B. So close. Barely didn't make it.
Have they ranked well above Taiwan A? Yeah, right. I forgot that
Taiwan
they
A. 49.
They swapped
No, I
the
remember.
roster in A and B.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we called it during predictions. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, it still didn't qualify.
They were only 0.05 away from qualifying. Our first qualifying team is going to be Malaysia.
Malaysia.
And honestly, no standout scores, just a good consistency there.
None of them did comparably bad to each other. They're all did their parts in the team with pretty good average placements. That 44 and 42 dragging them down, but the 26 and 27, 22, they helped them secure their 32nd spot.
Yep.
Next, 31st seed.
Gonna have Germany B. Did have one player missing. Solid score on, they got 16th on that S8. So congratulations to them. On to team number 30. It's going to be France B. Now we're getting a lot of the B seeds. Mali with some good scores. And just overall pretty consistently higher placements. Then we've got Canada B coming in 29th. One player missing, Featherfall, that definitely hurt them a lot. But, number 16 on the S3 is pretty solid. Argentina coming in at 28th. Very good average score from Rizikin, and overall consistent scores across the board. Probably slow down a bit once we get to the top 16. But for now, we'll keep the speed runs going. Indonesia B is going to be seed 27. Good showing from quite a few players. Dutch CH1 with a nearly 200,000 average score. And a number 9 on that test. I believe it says 8. It's a really good score. That was our first top 10. We've got Hungary at seed 26. Solid placements. Defi and Mariko really carrying that one.
Worth noting, got to C26 with 2 players missing, so watch out in bracket. Maybe they're hiding a secret weapon. But moving on to C25, we got Russia B.
Yeah, clearly a good performance. The first time I think we've seen more than 3 average scores above 100k.
Number 9.
Yeah, top 10 for them as well.
S6. Next is Indonesia A. Well, a 200k average from B Bryant here. They have number 18 on S2 and number 11 on S5. Pretty good scoring. And on to the 23rd seed, we have Norway A.
That
anti-marker
is a surprising one, I have to say. Yeah, with a player like Yokespie, Hundor as well, really would have expected them to put up some higher scores. I mean, Yokespie, 166% average score. They did get number 8 on that S5, but yeah, this one potentially a bit of an underseeding. I think they're going to be scary in the bracket.
I think them not having 8 in the app might be one of the reasons why.
Could be.
Next on to the
it seems like they were all at COE. Sorry to interrupt.
All good. So Vietnam A, we have Huyan Kel, Cave Quick Boys, and Happy Stalker doing all of the work here with a really high average score. As well as Ayamaki. They have really consistent placements, save for a few slip ups like S2. Up onto the 21st seed. It's Poland A.
Yeah, just generally consistent scores, contributions from the whole team, no kind of huge standout scores. So just seeing that consistency improve across the board. Our 20th seed, rounding out the top 20, is going to be Macau plus Hong Kong, our final combined team. And Max Burio doing a lot of work on that one. Misha Awa as well. I mean, this is a very strong team for regular tournaments, of course, but Easy World Champion asks for quite a different skill set. They do have a couple top 10 scores, getting number 7 on the S2 and the S5. I think this is another team that, you know, has some potential for upsets in the bracket stage.
Definitely. Moving on to 19th place is going to be Spain A. Having who's this guy? Wait, what is that name? And Alexi Ocean Creator also doing really good scores. They have a really consistent scoring placements. Maybe except for like a hiccup in S1, which maybe not exactly their map. They're pretty good. On the bracket next
Number 18.
seed.
We've got Japan, and you know, again, they've got one top 10 score, but for the most part, they've just been consistent across the board. Contributions from the whole team. So congratulations to them on 18th. Moving on to seed 17, we have Brazil, and I believe Exital is going to be our. Not quite, actually. We haven't gotten anyone in the top 100 individual yet, but 210 average is the highest we've seen so far. And, you know, again, they do have one top 10, but otherwise just consistent average scores. Now, into the upper half of our first round, our 16th seed is going to be Canada. Hayes putting in a lot of work, missing Raikai, but good sewings from Celery and Steam Happy. You know, no top 10 scores this time around, but most of their scores between 10th and 20th, so was enough to secure them the 16th spot, and that does mean that they are going to be playing against Brazil in the first round.
China A. Having 261k average score, the highest so far. While the rest of the team also pulled on their own weights. They have a number 8 on S6 and a number 7 on S10. Pretty strong
but
in the
also
team.
a number 32nd on the S2 is a bit peculiar. Maybe a little bit lowering the playing their speed and their average score.
Yeah, they might be looking like a low aim player from the maps they have top scored.
Yeah, definitely tanked their score a little bit on that one. On to seed number 14. We've got Philippines A. This is another pretty good team. Yeah, 2 players still getting seed number 14. Down a fair bit, though, from last year's placing at number 4, I believe. Is a bit of a different roster. And quite a few top 10s there did just get dragged down by that number 30 on Ferquidus, which is unfortunate.
Up next is Germany A. Mira having pretty good average score as well as Lion. Yeah, that's our number 5 on Zerno. Oh, that's a pretty high placing now. High flame.
It's a pretty high placing, and shout out to Mira, who was the 25th best performer in qualifiers, I believe. First player we've seen in that top 25, so clearly some good star potential here. But moving on to number 12, we've got Australia A. This is another scary team. Obviously, JGLF, a very good player, 47, W47, and Ventos, with some very good scores as well. And they have a lot of scores just inside that top 10. Again, you know, no big standout score, just really consistent across the board. A couple unfortunate scores that did drag them down on S5 and 6, though.
Coming in next, we have Netherlands A. Well, UC2 having a really high average score of 330. He's the sixth best performing player in individual performance. With number 5 and number 7 in S2 and S3 respectively, as well as top 10 in Mutant and Akairiko. This team is very scary. Unfortunately, had this hiccup here in S6 and S11 with 25 on both of the maps. And
starting to get into
moving into
more
our first top 10 team.
It is going to be Chile, and this is a very strong team. Gonza missing is pretty rough for them, but up massively from C23 last year. Our first top 3 as score as well on that S6, very good from them. Even a number 6 on that S4. And otherwise, just really consistent scores across the board. I mean, Ral and number 37, very capable of playing these kinds of maps. And I think just, consistent plays. They didn't have anybody in the top 20, but Ral was their best performer on this pool. So looking forward to seeing what they can do here. At number 9, we've got France A. Again, scores starting to get up there. No top 5s, but actually they do have one top 5, sorry. Otherwise, they have quite a few scores underneath that top 10. And sorry, they actually have 2 top 5s. But they'd have a couple lower scores, 17th, 19th, and 20th, that did drag them down a little bit. Really strong showing from Retreat, especially, who did place 15th overall individually. And seems to be a pretty well-balanced team with a lot of different players contributing to their qualifier placement.
Worth to note that I'm pretty sure Retreat was FC S4 and S7, which is a pretty good feat, pretty insane feat. Up next.
At number 8, we've got United States C. Crazy that they have 3 teams that are this good, but obviously the United States always have a very deep talent pool, no matter the skill set. And it is going to be the Woke left alongside Cathin, putting up some really strong scores. We have a number 1 as well on S6, our first place score. They do have that number 25 on Sierna's perfect math class. Otherwise, maybe they could have gotten to even that top 6, top 5. And so really all of the United States teams are going to be very scary this tournament.
Next up, we have Romania with I think the highest individual performance. Oh no, the second highest individual performance from the dude. Having really high average score of 372k. He really just shot up Romania by a lot of placements.
Yeah. Definitely feels like they're going to be relying a lot on Badu throughout this tournament. I mean, Badu, one of the best easy players, but they do have some solid supporting members as well, and Capybaras and Origin, who can kind of take up the rear. Only 2 scores in the top 5, interestingly enough, just generally very consistently in the top 10 across every single skill set. At number 6, we have got Sweden. Teams are starting to get very good now. Trumpentina with a 400,000 average score. It was actually Lightning Fox who got the higher individual ranking though. They've got a number 3 score on Mutant, a number 2 score on that S4, and quite a few other scores in the top 10. Again, really just being tanked by that, S6. And they could have been higher even, and all the teams at this point are getting so good.
And starting in our top 5, we have Russia A. Really, really consistent, dare I even say super team. We have number 1 on S3, followed by number 3 on S1 and S9. And their lowest performance being 16th on S10 does show how comfortable and wide their skill sets pool it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy team. You've got, I feel like we're going to say this about every team in the top 5, but you've got just straight up 4 OWC players on this roster, and it turns out they can all play easy pretty well. Markham did end up getting a 3rd overall individual in that ranking, and the rest of a lot of the other Russian players are in the top 100 as well. And so I do think they've got some pretty clear skill sets they're going to be strong on. You know, those number 1 and number 3, so teams are going to have to watch out for that. But let's get into the top 4. This will also be a bit of a top 3 reveal, as we'll find out which teams are in that top 3. But for our 4th seed, we have got United Kingdom. We've got Plamblob, who was the top performer in qualifiers by a huge margin as well. It was, you know, Markham and Gambler both around that 6.0 mark, but Do had 6.3 match cost, and then Plamblob was a full 0.6 above that with a 6.96 match cost. Absolutely dominated the competition. I mean, Plamblob is insane, but like this is just straight up. Again, you know, you have 4 OWC players on this team between Plamblob, Listia, Bubblemint, and Easy Champ, and all of them are very strong on Easy as well. We've got 3 number 1s, which is crazy. We've got the S2, and then I want to say that's the S7 and the S8, alongside 3 number 3s.
And worth noting, no score, no 2-digit placement on any of the maps. Number 9 being their lowest. Very impressive stuff overall. And starting our top 3, we have none other than USB. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
wow. What a stacked roster and stacked country do you have to be for not just your C team to top 8, but your B team get 3rd overall.
Yeah.
We have super consistent scores across the players, and while we only have 1 number 1, their lowest is ranked 6th on S1 and S6. So again, very impressive stats.
Yeah, I mean, so many scores in the top 3. I believe there were 6 of them in total, and then a bunch of top 4s as well. This team is just so consistent at every skill set. And I mean, how does your B roster have Tricky Pugster, Batball, and Athantrix on top of, you know, Gilgamesh, Loganos, Stupid Dog are potentially slightly less known, but all very strong at tournament players who clearly, based on their, you know, average scores, very strong on easy. Athantrix was the top performer for this team, but Stupid Dog and Loganos were not far behind at all 3 players finishing top 20 individual. But I think that brings us to our top 2, and we'll be revealing the number 1 seed at the same time, of course. So, in number 2, we have got South Korea, which does mean that United States A are going to take first place, but we will look at them afterwards. So impressive that South Korea placed 2nd overall with only 4 players available: Reviclia, Gambler, Akbo, and Sinon. Gambler, 4th individual. Revicla was 11th as well. Akbo in 22nd. And then again, just so consistent. Look at how many number 2 scores they've got. S3, S5, S7, and S8, all number 2. They've got a top score on that S1, a number 3 score on, I believe that's S9 or S8. Sorry, that's S10. And a couple number 4 spots to round it out.
So the first seed would be, as you guessed it, USA. Well,
Yeah.
This roster is actually, I'm pretty sure the same roster they used from last year, which is very funny. They still got it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a gap too. Not that much of a gap in terms of the performance. We had, you know, there's a huge gap to the top 4. Russia at number 5 is 4.59, and it's a big jump to 5.3 for the UK. United States and South Korea at 5.42 are not far ahead, and then United States A 5.66. So a step up even from the other top teams. I mean, this is just a disgusting roster. What can you say about this roster? I mean, again, this is many OWC players, a lot of the best easy players that the US has to offer. I mean, TTV UFO has gotten so good this year. Did not know. Well, I knew TTV UFO could play raiding, but I didn't know TTV was this good at raiding as well. And then of course you've got Bashiman, KT, Lunas Tabby, One Tabby, and Caleb Shucks, and pretty much every member of this roster can contribute on various maps, and it was actually KT09, shout out to them, who had the best qualifier performance, getting 5th overall individual. But then you've got Luna and TTV at 8th and 9th. You've got who was it? Bashiman at 21st. I think pretty much this whole team is, I want to say the whole team is in the top 50, not quite, but they're not far off. And I mean, just look at how many number ones they have. 4 number ones. Their worst score is a single number 5 on Mutant. I think it's safe to say this is going to be the team to beat.
Of the qualifier results, I think the bracket is gonna follow up later, and after this we'll have the Major League Mappool showcase. Which floor goes?
Yeah, we'll be heading into the Major League Pool Showcase shortly, and then after that we'll also do the Minor League Pool Showcase. They have different pools. The Minor League pool is made by Reichelt. Shout out Reichelt. And I suppose we can get right into the pool showcase.
Yep, that'll do it for me. But thank you guys all for watching and enjoy the pool showcase.
Whoop. All right.
All right. Thank you, iFlame. And yeah, let's just give me a second to set it up.
In the meantime, I can quickly explain the one biggest difference between qualifiers to round of 32, besides the difficulty, is that entering the bracket stages, we are introducing the format of the tournament, which is starter and counter picks. You have no tiebreaker map, so to speak of, although you might have tiebreaker style maps through the pools. But the way it works is that the first map is picked by striking 2 maps and the enemy team striking 2 maps. The 5th that's left is getting picked. And after that, the losing team always gets the counter pick. So why it's important for the pool is that the first 5 maps are one of those 5 will always be the first map you play, and then the rest can be played throughout the match. That is taken into account both while pooling and while presenting the pool.
Yep.
Just figured to give that update to some people who either were confused on why the maps were labeled with S1 through 11 in qualifiers, or maybe those unsure about why isn't there an easy one, easy DT2, etc.
Yeah, thank you for explaining.
That is the format.
And with that, we can head into the pool, starting with our Strike 1 map.
We have an easy with optional hidden on Chrono Diver by Necomata Master. This map is I believe the longest map in the pool. As you see, over 5.5 minutes drain time. And it does serve as the tiebreaker-esque map. Nothing too interesting really to say about this map other than what you'd see. It's very standard, sort of vanilla, but not super generic or boring patterning, structuring, and reading style. You can expect it mostly testing your reading consistency and aim consistency. If you find yourself performing better on consistency and regular / vanilla style picks, then this can be a starter pick you leave hoping to start your match.
This map is
Maybe you'll
also
have
hidden
the
optional.
advantage on it. Yeah, believe I mentioned that. It has most maps in this pool in this tournament which are not forced hidden still have optional hidden.
This map is a standard. Using easy on this map makes it a pretty hard map to read. A lot of stacks, a lot of extended 1/4 rhythms, as well as a few triples and bursts here and there. So if you are someone who kind of min-maxes on skill sets, this map might trip you up because this tests every kind of consistency, and not just aim consistency. Tests how well you can handle some of these stacks, some of these triples, some of these bursts, as well as a few like light tech elements.
Yeah, the structure, while generic, does have light tech, especially towards the ki and the awkward angles between the jumps. I think I really like this pick for it being, both a mix of generic consistency, but also not being boring in the slightest. Not being like your standard anime 5-minute song.
Yeah, this is a very fun kind of consistency where it doesn't feel like it's all the same map the entire time. Well, this is 5 minutes, so I mean, the fact that the mapper did a lot of very fresh variations makes it more of a fun map rather than boring one. And also because the song is a banger, you wouldn't get bored playing this map. So turn to the KI section here. There's going to be a few of those 1/4 stacking there when they're actually 1/1s. They might trip a few people up. Nothing much to say here. If you are already comfortable in hybrid maps, this should be a very easy pick for you.
It is worth mentioning, by the way, that this map is probably, I guess minor spoiler alert, but this map is leaning towards one of the hardest in the pool, which I think we're generally fine with because the skill set testing on it is really focused on consistency and, more generic stuff rather than gimmick. So this, you could say, is like a bit comparable to the Frequentus pick in qualifiers or Sterno, where it it does have reading, it does have aim, but it's not gimmicky,
Yeah, it doesn't have
All right.
like really weird rhythms.
Thank you to Extreme Knees for that replay. Let me
W
fix
extremities.
the VC overlay real quick, and then I'll.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me put it right there. It's probably good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Now-
moving into F2, we have our first Easy Hidden. We have Easy Hidden on Biribiri Avant-Garde.
Replay by A Bracket.
Mhm.
I think all
This
the Easy
map-
Hidden maps are, or all the Easy Hidden replays are by Easy Bracket. Or A
Oh,
Bracket.
cool.
I don't know why I said. But yeah.
Anyways, this map is sort of a mix of aim and reading, and it's the type of reading you would probably find in more standard Hidden 2 tournament slots. And so if you're comfortable and like some stacks on 225 BPM slight density reading checks, then this map might be a bit challenging for you. But otherwise, I do find it much more of a mechanics test than a reading test.
AR 6.6. It's quite a low AR for DDD, I guess. I agree. The structure makes it a little easy to read, but oh, that stack pattern might be a lot of people might research on that one.
And just like a lot of old maps, this at some spots and some patterns does spike. But I do find that the tapping difficulty and rhythm reading is quite consistent throughout the 4.5 minutes duration of this map.
That's a really weird stacking. Clear control part. A lot of people might break there. One thing I've noticed about this map is that some of the seemingly double patterns are actually like 1-2s. They seem like doubles, but they're actually 1-2s. Just for me, it's quite tricky to read, especially on the easy only.
Also, thank you to Yisom for this nice replay here. I think Yisom did a majority of the replays.
All right, and moving on to S4. We have the second DT map of the pool, and this one is Forced Easy Hidden Double Time. It is another mechanics pick. It's sort of, well, debatably an alt map, alt jump map at 128 BPM or 256. And yeah, pretty generic, a Kowari alt jump pattern. Really shouldn't be too much a problem with reading on this one, besides, of course, full reading aim. Do not miss the circle. This is also the shortest map in the pool so far. I forgot if we have shorter map, but it is one of the shortest. So it's good for all of you who just want to retry and practice. until you FC it consistently. Oh, apologies, it's 2:46 BPM, so 123. You can single tap that if you prefer.
Oh, unfortunate miss there.
All right. Over as quickly as it started, and for our final starter pick, we have an AR5 edit on Basara, forced easy only. Yeah, incredible classic map for now appearing in Easy World Cup. What are we thinking of that?
I think it's nice to have a classic like this in. And I think the air edit brings it to like a good difficulty.
Mm-hmm. It's worth noting that it's AR 2.5 instead of AR 4.5 with normal Basara. And that is not to say that we will consistently go for AR edits throughout this tournament. It's really for specific cases like this where it just fits nicely. With that said, this map is quite low mechanics, really only testing finger control, which in this case it's more reading based than mechanics based. You have a lot of the overlap and rhythm reading, and with it being forced easy, you have to rely on your approach circles. I think this map is favored for those who get to practice or have already played the map before a lot, because lower AR on it really doesn't change that much in that regard. Although you do have to watch out for some of the flowing beats between the space triples, space burst, and later on space streams. I do think those become beats exponentially harder with lower AR. As we see in the last quarter, the spacing does increase. But I do think that if you're comfortable on it, you should be able to FC basically until that point.
I would argue that this diff spike actually makes it easier to read, because the map becomes even more spaced. Easier, less stacking, easier to read.
Yeah, if reading is boosted, then maybe the second half of the map is actually easier. All right, and now moving on to our first counterpick, C1. These are all maps that you cannot start with in the match, but you can always pick when it's your turn to counterpick.
So this map is old style. A little bit similar in style to Val maps, actually.
Yeah, this is a mix of a little snap aim and a little more flow alt at 284 BPM. Very much like you said, old, sort of like a Val style map, where you have these slightly jumpy, like doubles and triples. And then it also tests a decent chunk of density alt reading, as you see a lot of the sliders, especially during the KIs, overlap. And so if you're not used to playing this style of old structure alt maps, it could be a bit learning. But I do think that if you are more comfortable on this style, then it's a lot more intuitive and even sight readable. Random fun fact is that I really like this song.
It is a great song. Very fun.
This section is a little spiky in terms of aim, but I don't think it gets much worse in terms of reading.
Yeah, it doesn't really. The map is fairly consistent.
Well, it does.
He's there.
W
There at the end.
Thank you.
Okay, quickly moving into C2, we have another easy optional hidden on Voyage 1970. This map is the dedicated flow aim slot. This time without forced hidden, but a lot more technical flow aim.
Yeah, a lot of
also-
XL decel.
Yeah. It might be the shortest map in the pool. Again, I don't quite remember. But yeah, it's just constant difficulty of short streams with Axel and Decel. Very underweighted in star rating, which I find funny. I think the reading on it is not too bad outside of, needing to read the correct flow. Such as these are all doubles, basically. It's really not too bad. However, if you're not comfortable in your flow aim or tapping consistency, maybe even 162 BPM stamina is your struggle, yeah, this is maybe a map to avoid, to refine and practice.
I think one minor aspect of the map, in the intro, you can see that there's like a few of the patterns that stop and start at the same spot. Those might need to be memorized because I miss all those shots, and other people might also miss on them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate miss from Yama Mizuki here. But it's still a pretty good score.
All right, now we have, is it C3? Yeah. Yeah, we have C3, which is maybe the techiest map in the pool. It's not too dissimilar to Mutant in terms of the skill set testing of rhythm and short sliders, a lot of sliders. But this is about as techy as you can get for as low star rating as this. So worth noting, it is definitely much easier than what you see in qualifiers, but it is definitely tricky to read the correct rhythms and get good accuracy, at least on some of the patterns.
Yeah, I definitely struggled with the accuracy on this map.
The patterns are really simple, but the rhythm makes it really hard.
I would not say it is that difficult to read as much as it is simply unintuitive to play.
Yeah, it's definitely a map that you practice for the rhythms. And then other than that, it's not too hard to get your cursor over the note.
Yeah.
This section we have a few more stacks and short spacing stuff.
Oh, those bus sliders are very evil.
This one is hidden optional, yeah.
I think there's only one other map than Basara, which is not hidden optional.
Yeah, that is C7, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Also, for those who notice, with the way this pool is organized is quite different to the pseudo-random qualifiers organization. This one we sort of grouped it by mod pools, at least for the counter picks pool. And then the starter picks are ordered in a similar fashion. All right. Now we can move on to C4, where I believe it's the first easy hidden of the counter pick. We have another massive classic, Voyage to Eternity. This is yet another banger oldie. Yeah, this one much different to Batara, is generic, not many overlaps, and just really tests your easy hidden consistency. It is much more task focused than the other easy consistency map we have on S1. But I do believe it's also easier, especially if you're comfortable on hidden.
Yeah, this is not the BMX difficulty.
Yeah,
some you might be disappointed, but
maybe a bit disappointing to some, but also that would be far too difficult for this stage.
Yeah, it's already hard enough.
BMX difficulty will go to round of 16. Trust. We can do that. I can support people like that. Kappa.
Are we allowed to reuse the same map sets?
Yeah. We're also gonna reuse Big Black from the sample pool because we can.
Yo, Big Black is gonna be easy DT on Grand Finals.
Whoa, we're leaguing grand finals already?
Actually, Basara EZDT is gonna be in grand finals. The final pot, if you will. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this map besides the meteoric consistency, awesome. If you have like basic idea on like easy hidden tap aim and flow aim, then this should be easy as long as you're consistent. Really like very few to no tricks or gimmicks throughout this map. All right. Now moving into S5. If I still have the count correct, we have Astral's Sprinkles Insane Diff by Katie Gister. Probably a decent chunk of you will recognize this map. This is the dedicated finger control rhythm map of the pool, and we have had a lot of rhythm thus far, I think, but also this should be the last one. I keep forgetting the maps in the pool, so apologize me, but this is sort of exclusively testing your hidden rhythm knowledge and like finger control on that. And I say rhythm interchangeably with finger control, but this is much more finger control, as in the mechanics aspect of it, alongside the reading, rather than, just reading and memorize.
This map also has a very minimal amount of stacks, so you can actually like read some of these rhythms by spacing of the objects alone.
Yeah, in that sense, the map is actually like not freaking you at all, which is some would say rare for Katie Gister maps, and some would say very common. It depends on what style of Katie Gister you play.
Oh, that part of the song. Hikey Rage Bait. Pretty standard stuff. I think this is basic enough that all the people can read this.
Okay.
So
And moving on, we have the final Forest Easy Hidden, and yet another KTGster map. This one, a little well-known AR0 map. It's actually in place of Easy Hidden halftime slot. Because of the way this tournament operates, we cannot have a negative AR, as it kind of destroys the tournament client. So you can have hidden AR0 in round of 32. You can just consider it easy hidden halftime, because it's practically the same without the audio crunch. Anyways, in regards to the map itself, this is relatively high CS, although I don't think it matters for anyone to aim at. The real difficulty of this map is obviously the AR0 timing-based reading, which means that mechanically the map is really nothing burger, but the reading on it is based on reading the correct timing between each node, as well as reading timing of nodes that come after long breaks or spinners. And then in the second half, you mix it up with some overlaps or stacks rather, but it's very consistent. If you have it memorized, then it should be very, very consistent and doable for you. Yeah, nothing too special to say besides yay to Gister maps.
easy DP.
This is the other map that is easy forced. You can't take hidden option on this one.
This one is a mix of mechanics and gimmick. It's not too hard to read, but the gimmick comes, you'll see very soon, in the patterning and structure being an SV map. So while it is still mostly testing your aim, it's done through gimmicky SV structure, so it's a miscellaneous EZWC. And this one is disabled hidden to focus a bit more on the density reading aspect on it, but also because I feel like for hidden preference players, it would be sort of a very free add-on, and we don't want to quite allow hidden on all maps in the pool. However, it is worth saying that compared to passive duration, we do have more forced hiddens. So I think all the hidden players are eating good without with this compromise. All right, and moving into the last map of our pool, we have a proper easy halftime. with optional hidden. This one is, I think, mechanics readings balanced, but maybe mostly mechanics. It offers light tech in a similar fashion to S1, being mostly structural reading, being light tech. Anyways, this is kind of generic jump burst and mostly burst mechanics, while offering some density through the crit being AR 1.3 and a lot of sliders. Also, shout out Chivalry was a song we pulled in the first iteration of Easy World Cup, albeit a completely different set. So I think there's no problem with pulling again 2 years later.
The decay of this song, every single map is always like easier than the rest of the map. This is like one of them.
Anyways, that'll be it for the major bracket Mappool showcase for round of 32. We hope you all had a good time, and I'll be moving on to do other stuff while Reichelt will join in to commentate and explain the minor league round of 32 pool.
Yep. Thank you, Floppa and Fa, for commentating. And are you sticking around, Fa?
I think I'm gonna go as well.
Okay.
It's
So it'll just be
midnight over
me.
here.
Yeah, that's fair. It'll be me and Reichelt commentating the minor league pool, which, by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but if you did not qualify for the major league bracket and you're seed 33 through 64, you have the opportunity to play in the minor league bracket. I'm not entirely sure how Reichel wants to handle that yet, but there will be an announcement later, so look out for that.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, Reichelt.
Good luck with that.
Alright,
I'm on time and ready to commentate. Thank you, Floppa and Fall. Commentating the Major League.
Alright, I guess.
Bye.
Yep. Alright, it's time for the minor league pool.
All right.
It's also 3:20 a.m. for me right now, so
Damn.
that's gonna be awesome.
Well, let's get right into it then. Starting with
First map
strike
in the
one.
pool, S1. Yep. It's going to be the death of peace of mind. It's under 5 stars base, like without easy hidden. I think it goes up quite a bit. Let me see exactly. It goes up to 6.08 stars after easy hidden. So it's kind of just a pretty chill consistency map. Not much to say about it, it's just a banger, honestly. So yeah, that's why it's in the pool. There's about 200 combo of downtime at the beginning of the map, but then it picks up quite a bit. So there's also a few like stream patterns that are actually kind of difficult to hit in the map, but generally not as like not that much harder than the rest of the map. At least how I feel it. But But yeah, for the minor league, we actually have pools that are a lot easier compared to the major league. I think we're barely gonna reach the difficulty of the major league, like the second round probably of the major league, the finals of the minor league. So yeah, if you didn't qualify for the major league and you were scared of having pools that are too hard for you, well, minor league is just the right place for you. And yeah, this pool was made by mostly just me. I've had a little bit of playtesting from Yovshnor if any of you know him. And I've also managed to get replays from a few players. You'll have to see that later on. But yeah, so far, also not gotten any staff for the tournament, as in like streaming, commentating, reffing. So we'll see how it goes. I'm usually pretty confident in doing everything alone, or most of it at least. But I would like some more staff, at least for reffing, so I can stream more matches. Because my PC recently, for those who aren't Australian and haven't followed ADT, I can hardly ref and stream at the same time anymore for some reason. I don't actually know what's happened. I keep updating my drivers and trying to optimize my PC, but it's just not in the same shape as before, I guess. Maybe it's all the Windows 11 updates that's been bloating my PC.
That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some refs available to help with minor league, and then also ideally some streamers to get at least some of the closer matches for minor league. We probably won't be able to stream like all of them. We just don't have enough staff for that.
I mean, I think I'm gonna stream quite a lot of them anyways.
Okay,
I'll
that's
just have
nice.
to wake up pretty early, because international matches are pretty rough for me.
Yeah, I feel that. I did that a lot with past tournaments that I've hosted myself. I'll probably do it a lot with this one as well. Depends on how active our streamers are, but on to the next map.
Yeah. First easy hidden out of the way, we go into easy halftime. We have a replay from Yovshnor. That was actually his siren. He said he was going to do replays, and then he ended up not doing anything. But this was just a test replay to see if him playing classic on laser would work, to show the replays unstable, and it did work. So that's the replay he sent me just to try.
Well, nice siren.
Because it was actually a decent, replay. But yeah, first easy halftime map of the minor league is going to be a stream map, or mostly just a stream map. And Yof does break quite a decent bit at the beginning. I think that was also the first map of his session at the time. Also, the map shows, or the laser clan sees the map as no mod. It just says it's 7 stars. It is not 7 stars. It's 5.69 stars after easy halftime, and this is hidden optional. Actually, every single map in the pool is hidden optional because I didn't see a point in. Like, I didn't see any maps that hidden would make easier, generally. So, did not force any density picks on easy only. because most of the density picks in this pool, as you'll see, are like a lot of perfect stacks, which are really difficult on hidden, so I might as well allow using hidden. But yeah, a little bit of an end spike there on this map. Nothing too crazy. I mean, you have a lot of time to read the circles. It's not actually that dense, or like there's a lot of notes on the screen, but it's just like mostly just flow patterns, which makes the map pretty chill.
Alright. Next strike map. If my okay, there it goes.
Oh, that's not there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Replay by Cocaine Bear, Mr. Yogurt Hose, who I asked to get a bunch of replays. He's actually done good replays. So this is actually, I think the last map I pulled in this pool, it was mostly just a snap alt pick, or somewhat snap alt, because at this SR it's pretty difficult to get anything resembling actual alt, unless you put DT on it. So yeah, this was my attempt at having a snap alt map, because the other alt maps in the pool are not snappy at all. But yeah, not much to say about this map, so I'll take the time to talk a little bit right now about how I plan to host the minor league, I guess. It's a pretty difficult situation where we actually have quite a lot of teams de-seeding, and looking at it, doing a round of 32 like double elim brackets is really weird right now.
Yeah.
Because you could just be like a middle of the pack team and you end up against two D-seeders and you go 0-2.
Exactly. The seedings are not accurate for minor league.
So I don't think a round of 32 bracket would be fun for anyone, except maybe the top teams. Like even for the D-seeders, it's not that fun. So I've been kind of improvising again, trying to get something that works for 30 teams, but I don't actually know if we're gonna have all 30 teams compete. And about that, I'm gonna have all the captains write in the channel, and we're gonna do an announcement after the stream about it. I'm gonna have all the captains tell me whether or not they want to play in the minor league, and if we do get all 30, I already have a format that I would probably do instead of a round of 32 double elim. And for those who know, it's like, for those who have played in RAR and ADT, or ADT, and also the minor league in 2024, it's a similar format that I had obviously adapted to work with 30 teams, and it would also be in 7 weeks instead of 6 for most brackets, so that would be an extra week. I don't know if everyone would like that, but anyhow, I'll have to make a poll, because I also don't know if anyone wants to go 0-2 against D-seeders. But yeah, the first alt map in the pool.
Alright.
Now we get basically an attempt at getting tech in the pool again. At this SR you can hardly get any tech, so
Yeah, makes
it's
sense.
mostly just slider density. And it does end up being ult again, and this map is kind of the reason why I needed the previous map in the pool. Yeah, this map's gonna be like kind of flow ulti, but not the main topic here. Mostly just really dense rhythmic slider density. Is going to be another slider map in the pool later on, but it's also not that techy. But then again, it's kind of just impossible to get some actual tech in the pool. Which will be a lot easier to get in the later rounds, but for now, we have a semblance of what we want. Let me actually get some stats for the pool. This map is only 5.3 stars after easy. And the strike pool is pretty long on average. We've seen quite a lot of long maps so far. This one being the longest at 425 during time at least. The pool average is under 3 minutes, it's at 2 minutes 50. Also, this map has really funny hit sounds, if you want to play with that. So another thing, the strike pool is actually pretty low BPM overall. But, well, that's just something that happened. Not much I can do about it. Generally, I feel like a lot of the maps were low BPM. Some later maps in the counters pool. Like I wanted to have an easy hit map. Wait, I might actually change like the ordering of maps now that I think about it. Because I only have one easy hidden map in the strike pool. We might see a little bit of things moving, but the maps won't change, and the mods on the maps won't change either. Might try to get another. I'm probably putting the easy hidden DT instead of the S3 that you've seen. But yeah, you'll have to see that later anyways. We are on S5 and it's the first tapping map of the pool. 258 finger control. And this map was also just, what was I gonna say, updated less than 48 hours ago, so I had to remake the replay right before the stream started, the stream. But yeah, Kasane Taito. EZDT. Nothing much to say except that this diff, I guess if you know the map set, this diff doesn't have like trigger warning 1/3 in the middle of the map. But it does have this one pattern. That's kind of alt control. Which, from all the times I've played the map, I didn't miss once on it, but I feel like it's a spot where people can actually miss. That isn't the finger control. And it's also the shortest map in the pool. At 1 minute 36 drain time. Wait, no, actually not drain time. 1 minute 31 of drain time. Yeah, we move right into the first map of the counter pool, which is EZDT aim. Control. Aim control, actually. And it's also another replay by Cocaine Bear. I did ask RTX to do the replay for this one, and he didn't send me anything, so... Doesn't matter, still, I think this is an FC from Cocaine Bear. Mr. Hose.
Looks like some chill DT mechanics, mostly aim, and a bit awkward, but overall looks pretty chill.
Yeah, this one was actually 6.2 stars before adding easy, so on DT only, which is pretty valid. It's also a lot higher than all the other maps, but well, easy DT is a lot easier in general, so I like to read.
Yeah.
So this is more of a mechanic pick for the teams. And the mechanics will be generally just higher SR in each pool. Like, expect the next round to be, let's say, 6.4 star instead of 6.2. And 7 maps to go. Almost halfway through the pool. We have Triple Baka.
Classic.
Yeah, I think I suggested this in a tournament, like actually a year and a half ago. But it was too easy, so we didn't pull it.